Displacement Badger here with Sierra Kilo.
Greetings.
More Blood Bowl.
Seems like we're always doing something Blood Bowl.
Yeah. Quite a bit of Blood Bowl, in fact. Alright, this game is going to be the Umbrella Corporation versus the Crazy 8's.
Interesting matchup.
Yeah, Vamps versus Chaos Demons. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that vampires are going to take some damage, but we'll see how well the Crazy 8's play. Because if they play well, then they've got a legitimate chance of winning, especially as the two teams have kind of equalized, where neither one is really overpowered, and we've seen Umbrella Corporation do some pretty serious damage against opponents, and then just kind of fell to that happy medium where the scores aren't being ridiculous. It's a pretty hard-fought battle both ways.
Yeah, the kickoff of pitch is probably going to hurt a little bit.
Right.
Pro making up for the two pushes, or rather for the two pushes, reroll to two pushes. See, now that's something I wouldn't. I guess when your initial results aren't terrible, but I wouldn't use Pro to make up for like 2 attacker downs.
Yeah, I mean that's a good idea, a way to do that, because if Pro fails, then you have the opportunity to do better, but you are okay with the worst possible outcome already.
Yep. Alright, so both down puts it to a turnover. Decent setup for the Umbrella Corporations, but by no means is that unbreakable.
Yeah, for sure.
So it looks like he's going for a take out the Vamp strategy right now, putting down that first Vamp onto the ground. Moving the Bloodthirster over for the assist, pushing that Thrall over, blocking that wide zone.
Good.
Marking the character over there so that he could push him off the pitch. I probably would have done the same with the Vamp, especially with the assist from that Bloodthirster.
Yeah, that's a big benefit.
Alright, so didn't have much else to do, so ended the turn, and we have the patented minute-long wait. Didn't mark the Vampire receiver. Wasn't in risk of a touchdown that turn, but set it up for now a touchdown on turn 3.
I've been seeing a lot more passes lately, and I think that's an integral part of Blood Bowl that in the first couple weeks a lot of people were pretty hesitant to be doing.
Well, it comes down to comfortability with the players, but more likely it comes down to that defenses are getting stronger, and the only way to get the ball over there is to toss it over everybody.
I absolutely agree with that. Plus, having a couple agility bonuses to some players makes it a less risky occurrence in the general.
So we're looking right there. It's only going to be a -1 modifier for him to dodge on his first one, so it should be a pretty simple dodge. He does have no thralls down there for Bloodlust, though, so that is a risk.
Yeah, getting that vampire ahead of the thralls is definitely something that he's been careful not to do for most of the season. So
there you go. And that was pretty easy. Agility 4 with dodge. It just shows he's just, having to pick up block as his first pickup for everybody. I don't think he has a single player with tackle. So this is going to be a tough team for him to actually put down on the ground because he has absolutely no tackle.
Yeah, and I found that tackle has come in handy on my team quite a bit.
For these Heralds, I don't think block was a good choice. I think tackle, because with Juggernaut, you're kind of doing double duty right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you would have picked up, because the Heralds are going to most likely be your blitzers on the team because of the horns. With Juggernaut, they're getting a quasi block already. If you would have given them tackle, they could be more utilitarian and versatile.
Yeah, I think that tackle is just one of those things where people read it and don't really comprehend how powerful it can be
Yeah, tackle can definitely shut down entire teams if you use it properly and space it out. So Bloodthirster coming in, stunning this vampire, which is another one of his blodge vampires.
Right.
Marking that vampire.
Bloodthirster.
Yes, he is getting used to that Bloodthirster right now.
We'll see how long that lasts. We've seen games where that Bloodthirster was just pinned to the ground, or just the wild animal was kicking his butt and just making that character totally there.
And that's the first hypnotic gaze we've seen him use. Very good use.
That's perfect. Because then he has to get out of the hypnotic gaze, and then he has to...
Well, as long as he just uses the Bloodthirster, it breaks the hypnotic gaze, but...
Right.
For now, it's something. If he makes a mistake prior to using the Bloodthirster, then the hypnotic gaze won't drop.
Right. And it makes a big deal when you think of, when Wild Animal kicks, he still keeps his tackle zones, but now that he's under the hypnotic gaze, then he loses them, so that's pretty good. Plus, he's forced to move him in order to get him back in, and then he has the chance of, Wild Animaling.
Okay,
so you got the persnickety character to move.
Yeah.
Make an action.
Got lots of stuns and then a badly hurt. That's pretty good. Yeah. 2-die, his result was not a... I think that might have been a frenzy trap. I wasn't really watching.
Yeah. I missed it as well.
Yeah, because it was a 1-die into a 2-die. That was his choice, so that was not a good choice. Granted, it was the end of it, but I don't know. I always think marking somebody is a little better than just throwing your guy down to the ground.
Right, but that's the mentality that he's developed for this team over the...
See, and that was something interesting that I didn't mention, but this character, when he hit, he didn't... I don't know if he wasn't able to or what, but it's weird that... Oh, it was because it was a boat down. I was like, why didn't he follow up? It was a boat down, that's why he didn't follow up. So wild animal triggering.
But at least he got his tackle zones back. So it's still better. Badly hurt.
There you go. Blitzing with that Herald, putting the guy down. Pickup failed, but another player did pick it up afterwards. Alright, right back down from that same Vamp.
Doing damage. There we go. Pro.
Dislodging that ball. And this is just kind of a situation where it's a lot of just the Khorne demons right now are just hitting to get the ball loose, but then not doing anything to try to protect it afterwards. So it's just kind of a real quick turnaround.
Yeah, and that's something that you kind of got to look forward. It's almost better to have your opponent have the ball and to be in good position after, but when you aren't protecting the ball when it's on the ground, it just being on the ground doesn't help too much.
Yeah. You know, hitting these guys over here, I understand like now because he's dislodging, but earlier he should have been trying to get more bodies underneath on that ball. That strength 4 can be dealt with if you just give more bodies over to protect your guys. Alright, so unless he moves more characters over there, this is going to be a fairly easy touchdown.
Yep, again, just a one negative modifier.
Right here, no negative modifier. If he goes to the corner.
Oh, you're right. Good point.
And that didn't actually help anything.
No. Use the thrall there, touchdown.
And I think that's just maybe not understanding how dodge rules work. I think I might have, with that last guy, might have risked a go for it and a 4+ dodge roll just to get his negative modifier worse.
Right, because putting that player there didn't change the dice at all.
No, and at that point I probably would have risked it just because there's a lot of reward for a potential of an armor roll. That was the worst thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Especially to protect against a touchdown late in the game, or late in the half, I should say.
Another thing is, I don't know if he had much of a choice, but trying to hit that thrall that was close by to just hopefully gamble on that one.
Right.
Okay.
Seeing that frenzy caused some difficulties for him today.
Yeah, it's not going too well. So we are 2-0 into the half. That's
tough to get back from.
Yeah, ooh, and with the pitch invasion, it doesn't look like it's going to change much anytime soon.
That is a lot of bodies on the ground. 5?
Yeah,
so the crazy 8s.
I was about to say, it was either, I think it was 6, because it was 2 on the Umbrella Corps, 4 on the Crazy 8s.
5 for the Crazy 8s. There's a guy back behind the ball.
Oh, jeez. That's terrible.
Kickoff events are wild. I mean, they definitely just change the swing of the whole first couple turns.
They definitely
change the whole half.
Yeah, they could definitely make it very difficult. See, and this is where, in instance, you know, having that tackle would have been really nice, because obviously you're going to be blitzing straight on.
Right.
Picking up his guys before rolling, that's not bad. Push, and then right off the pitch.
Awesome.
That was perfectly executed. Yes, it did. But that was good for him. Get it back down.
Yeah.
He actually has quite a few bodies, at least protecting it mildly. Oh, that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gone anywhere after that.
Just get him next to the ball to mark it.
At least he's not stunned, which would have been pretty devastating.
Yeah. The only one I'm looking at is this guy right here. See what he's doing with him. Blocks, that's nice. Dodges out with that dodge, picks up the ball.
Perfect, that guy's stunned. He's going to move us. That should have knocked the thrall loose, yeah?
Yeah. Alright, so he's in a weird situation now. Might not be a bad idea. I don't know if I would have gone for that, but he's only going to get one die and he keeps looking at it. If this guy can move over there, yes he can. And now a good blitz. Not the angle that I would have done it at, but that's fine.
Agreed, that's exactly what I thought. I'd have done it from that angle there.
Exactly. Well, not exactly there. I would have done it right here to keep from
right, but
that guy.
I would have cornered him. I would have used the corner blitz.
Yep. Alright, so that last one was both down. Yep. Oh no, it was a failed dodge, I think. Yeah, I think this game is coming down to being ill-equipped to deal with agility 4 dodge.
Yeah.
Because his agility 5 player isn't even here.
Just not being able to be effective.
There we go, finally down.
Finally knocking some players around.
You know, this would be a definite eye-opener for him that he needs to, you know, this is a quasi-agility league, so he needs some tackle in there.
Yeah, I got lucky when my first couple games I was able to get the things I really wanted on my guys, so my second levels were available to me earlier, and I was ahead of the league in points in general, so was able to kind of, instead of be reactive, I was proactive, because I was able to see who I was going to be playing in the next little bit, and I was doing fairly well against strength teams, but I was really having trouble with, was afraid that I was going to have more trouble with agility teams, which is, I mean, exactly what happened this week, where, I had trouble with, I mean, that was such a fluky game against you. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
But
this guy right here to cover, I would have put right here. Gives him more edge.
Right.
But with the lack of movement allowance, it doesn't really matter. And if you're just going to come over here and foul him.
Yeah.
Alright, so failed dodge roll, knockout.
Terrible.
Well,
That's how it goes.
It does look like an inevitable touchdown, though. He's got a good partial cage protecting it. There's not really anybody who's even up, let alone has the movement allowance normally to fuck with him.
Right. I mean, that was the perfect positioning where we finally see that protection of the ball after the important play of either picking it up or getting it dislodged.
Mm-hmm. And right now, just kind of doing some last-ditch, never give up situation.
That's tough.
Odd choice, but hell, if you got it.
Perfect.
I wouldn't have gone for it in case a wild animal would have fucked my blitz. There's a potential, you know what I mean? It's there, and
Right.
the pit fighter would have been just as good. It would have caused no difference in dice.
Yeah, but I mean, he paid a lot for that guy. He wants to get his money's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, Bloodthirster doesn't even have Mighty Blow, so it was literally no change. The only difference might have been the fact that the Bloodthirster has Juggernaut. I didn't see if the Pit Fighters had block or not.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't see that either.
But, I don't know. I don't know if he's actually looking at Juggernaut as an ability, because he did pick block on both of his heralds, as I said before, so...
Yeah, I mean, this team has a lot of abilities and a lot of ways to play them. So if you kind of you can choose to ignore that Juggernaut, and they're still good characters. But having a real solid understanding of exactly what your players can do in any given situation is obviously the ideal.
Mega marking this.
No big deal. He doesn't want to get thrown on again. Yep, later. No big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw that coming. -2 modifier on agility 4 with dodge. No big deal.
Yep, powerful character. Powerful player.
Well, and this should be the last kickoff.
Got that player with kick. Now just for a little last-minute punishment, no big deal.
Let's say I think we got one tackle left. He goes for the pass, though. It was an odd choice.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely
I guess
players.
Maybe it was a scatter launch. Maybe he was going for somebody else. I probably would have just tried to hit that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that. I really attribute that to just not having tackle.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with you on that one, where it just didn't have enough ability to control those guys. It just was pushing everybody around and being on the wrong side of dice that he was throwing himself. So.
Well, and if you look at a Blodge character, there's only one thing that puts him down. So really, I mean, a 1 out of, for every die you roll, it's a 1 out of 6 chance of actually knocking the dude down. So I don't know if bad side of the dice. I think the only thing that I could consider bad side of the dice was maybe that pitch invasion, but it's Blood Bowl.
Right. Well, I mean, we did see a lot of both downs where he was, having to throw 2 or 3 dice against a character that he didn't have very good odds of putting down anyways, and which made the both down a higher higher probability overall. I mean, well, not higher probability, but the more times you throw it, the more times it's going to show.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, Umbrella Corps was rolling ones on going for it. They had, I think they only had two Bloodlust that game, though, so that was pretty simple.
Right, and you know, 2 Bloodlusts against the one wild animal, right?
Yeah.
But it was good that Hypnotic Vision getting used finally, so that's...
Yeah, it didn't do much just because it didn't have a chance to take advantage of it, but there was potential there for it to be useful.
Yeah, but now that it's kind of shown its face, people are going to have to start paying attention to it as an opponent, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Good.
Pretty straightforward game. Don't really have too much to say. Just get tackle.
Yeah, get tackle.
All right. Well, let's see who these MVPs are. La 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 la.
Emptying the stadium. So much fun.
Thrall. You always like to see that.
Yep.
And then a pit fighter, 0-star player point pit fighter. So pretty terrible MVPs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, nobody really stood out in the game, so
there you go.
That's how it goes.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.